Do you ever feel like you're scrambling, trying to capture everything during meetings? So you've got these notes, you're missing information, and you're wondering by the end, what are the key takeaways? And if you're struggling with this, imagine all the other people that's also feeling the same. But what if I told you can simplify the meeting minutes? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create an AI agent that you can share within your own team, functional teams, as well as across the organization to help streamline and standardize the meeting minutes. As a baseline, we're going to be using this meeting minute template, and I'll include a link in the description below. You can see here the template includes the meeting details, such as the meeting name, location, date and time, as well as the details of the attendees. It also includes a summary of key discussions, and it also includes the action items arising from the meeting, and we'll use this template as a baseline for creating our virtual agent. Today, we're going to be using Copilot Studio. Over on the left-hand side, under Create, select New Agent. To help kick off the build, Copilot will now prompt you, asking you what you would like to build. You can type in your answers here, and Copilot will guide you through the steps through the chat interface, or you can build your agent manually. In this video, I'm going to select Skip to Configure, and I'll show you how you can build the AI agent from scratch. So first off, you need to give it a name. So in this example, we're just going to call it AI Meeting Minutes Master. Next, we're going to add an image to represent our agent. And then once you've added your image, select Save. Under the description box, use your own words to describe what your agent should help with, including your audience and end goal. So here I've just typed in a brief description in terms of the role of the agent. I've also included a summary of the role in terms of summarizing the key discussions and action items and organizing them in a structured format. In the box under instruction, type in a few words in terms of how you want it to behave, including its tasks and how you want it to complete those tasks. In the knowledge base section, you can add in some custom knowledge here if you'd like. This way, if the user has any questions about the process, how to use the agent, as well as what information they need, they can type in their query and the agent will be able to pull the information from the knowledge base to help the user. Now, when it comes to adding the knowledge, you can see here that you can add knowledge from different sources. So for an example, you can use a website, you can use SharePoint, as well as Dataverse, or you can upload your documents here. You can see here there's a note here referencing that some of the sources may not be available in this particular step. However, you can add in some custom knowledge base once you've finished creating the setup. Now, if you'd like to learn more about adding in a custom knowledge base, I'll include a link to another video here for you to check out. And I'll also include that in the description below. And then once you've completed the initial setup, hit Create. Now, over on the right-hand side, you can test your agent at any time. And here you can see a generic welcome message. You can change the custom message by going to the Topics tab. Now, if you're new to Copilot Studio, topics are categories or subjects that you can use to guide the AI in terms of what to focus on during the conversation or a task. I'll walk through an example in just a few minutes, but let's change our message first. Under the Custom tab, you can see here there are a number of preset topics already set up for you. So the first one here is goodbye. And if we hover over the description, this particular topic is triggered when the user says goodbye. And depending upon your use case, you might have the agent reply with thanks or send them a short survey for them to complete. And you can also see on the right-hand side, there's a toggle button for each of the topics, which allows you to turn the topics on or off. Over under the System tab, you'll also see a number of preset topics set up. To change the greetings message, select Conversation Start. And in the message to the user, we're just going to make some changes here. You can now start to build the conversation flow by adding in additional steps. Now let's hit the plus icon. So here we're going to ask the user a question. Now, depending upon the answer of the user, we're going to direct the conversation flow using two pathways. So the question that we're going to ask the user is, are you ready to get started? And I will use the multiple choice option to give the user two options to select from. So the first option we're going to give the user is yes. So this will trigger the next step. And the second option we're going to give the user is I have a question. This way, the user can ask the AI agent questions before they start the process. In the section under Save User's Response, we're going to save the variable as ready to start. As you start to build more complex agents, you will need to refer back to these data points, so it's important to make sure the name is clear and reflects the data set or purpose. Let's hit Save for a minute. Select Refresh. Over in the Test panel or UI, you can see that the AI agent is now starting to come together with the initial greetings message now updated. There's also the follow-up question that we added earlier around "Are you ready to get started?", which will give the user 2 options to select from. So the concept behind this is that if the user selects yes, it will direct them to the Generate Meeting Minutes workflow. And if they select "I have a question", you could set this up so that the AI agent directs the user through a different path by allowing them to ask questions. Now, if you have your custom knowledge base set up with a frequently asked questions sheet as an example, the AI can use the FAQ sheet to answer the question from the user. Next, we're going to jump back to the main topics page. Under Custom Topic, we're going to create a new topic to direct the AI how we want to generate the meeting minutes. To add a new topic, click on the plus icon here. You can create a topic from scratch, or you can use Copilot to help you create the topic. Now, before we jump into creating the topic, I just want to spend a couple minutes to talk through what we're trying to achieve. If we have a look at the copy of the sample meeting minutes, here you can see there are several key information that you need in order to draft your meeting minutes. For the most part, the meeting minutes are generally broken into 3 sections. First, you need to have the meeting details, including the meeting name, date and time, location, list of attendees, and any apologies. Next, you'll need your meeting notes, which includes a summary of the discussions and issue raised during the meeting. The third section is the action items, which includes a list of actions, name of the person the action is assigned to, and the due date. To create the workflow, we're going to ask the user to provide the inputs of the meeting details. We're also going to ask them to provide a copy of the transcript and use the AI to generate the meeting minutes. To create the workflow, let's jump back into Copilot Studio. Now, back under the Topics tab, select Create a Topic from a description with Copilot. So here you need to give it a name. So in this example, we're just going to call it Generate Meeting Minutes. And in the next section, I want the user to provide details of the meeting. So here I've just typed in, ask the user basic information about the meeting. For example, the meeting name. I've also provided the AI with the exact questions I want to ask, and you can do this for the date and time, location, and so forth. And then once you've entered in the details that you want the AI agent to cover, select Create. And here you can see that with the help of Copilot, it's automatically created a conversation workflow for you to help collect the information from the user. And it's also generated the names for each variable as well. Next, we're going to add a new question. So let's hit the plus icon and ask a question. So here I'm going to ask the user to provide a copy of the transcript. And I'm going to change the entity from multiple choice to user's response. And under variable, we're going to save this as raw transcript. Next, we're going to add in a custom prompt and use Copilot to automatically summarize the discussion as well as action items based on the transcript that was provided by the user in the previous step. To add a custom prompt, select the plus icon again and select Create a Prompt. For the name, we're just going to call it AI to generate summary of key discussions and action items. Now you can write out your prompt here, or you can copy and paste your text. And if we have a look here, you can see here there are a number of templates that you can use. So let's select the Summarize Text prompt. And here you can see that there are a number of instructions around summarizing the text, which is probably a little bit too broad in terms of what we're trying to achieve. But let's use this as our baseline for creating our prompt. Now let's go back to our sample meeting minutes and have a look at the structure. Here we have a heading titled Meeting Notes, Discussions and Issue. We also have a list of key discussions by topic area, as well as an action plan with the name of the person responsible, as well as due date. As meeting minutes are very structured and follow a specific format, you want to provide the AI with detailed instruction in terms of how to achieve the same format as well as structure. So it's a good idea to provide examples in terms of what you're expecting as well. Okay, so I've already created a prompt earlier and I've just copy and paste the text here. And then once you're done, hit save. And Copilot will add your new custom prompt. Next, you need to configure the inputs and outputs. So in this example, the input is the meeting transcript and the output is the AI-generated meeting minutes. Under Input, select the arrow and now select the raw transcript. For the output, we'll need to create a new variable. And we're just going to call this AI generates meeting notes. And next, we're going to add in a message. So click on the plus icon, send a message. And here I've just written a message back to the user. I've also created the heading for the meeting details. So here we have meeting name. So here we want to link it back to the input provided by the user. So click on this icon here, insert variable, and now locate the meeting name. And now you'd also need to do this for the date and time, location, attendees, as well as apologies. And you also want to link it back to the AI-generated meeting notes. And then once you've created your meeting minutes template, select Save. Now that we've created the workflow for generating the meeting minutes, we need to go back to the conversation start topic and connect the dots. Under the Yes workflow, select the plus icon, select Topic Management, and go to another topic. And now select Generate Meeting Minutes. And hit Save. And now we're ready to test our agent. So here I'll just select Yes to the question around, are you ready to get started? Next, I'll just type in the meeting name, the date and time, the location, name of the attendees, and any apologies. And now provide the AI agent with a copy of the transcript. So here we have a copy of the meeting minutes generated by the AI agent. It's included the meeting details as per our message template. It's also summarized the discussion based on topic area, as well as included the action items from the meeting. And from here, you need to set up the configuration within the settings menu, as well as publish your AI agent. And then once you've hit publish, you can now share your AI agent either in Teams or on your website. So when we were looking at deployment earlier, you could see that there are a number of options that you could share the AI agent. This includes the intranet site as well as on Teams. Now, I'd highly recommend this to ensure that the AI tool is readily accessible to all team members. And now you could also share this within individual teams. So for an example, if you've got a project team, and you can also share this across functional teams. So for an example, IT or operations, as well as across the company. It not only makes it easier for everyone, but it also makes sure that the meeting minutes are written in a way that is consistent and standardized across the organization. Now, in an upcoming video, I'm going to look at how you can share this as a file. So if this is something that you might be interested in, let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, you might want to check out the next video where I share how you can create a voice agent using your standard operating procedures. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.